Hey guys, still figuring out here. Today I'm going to share with you how to differentiate the Monster Venom BAF Authentic and KO. Let's go! Here I have with me the KO Monster Venom BAF and the Authentic Monster Venom BAF. The KO Monster Venom BAF comes with the option of this venom head with a very extremely long tongue, a flexible long tongue. So I got it because it looks interesting and kind of funny at the same time. Yeah. Anyways, we'll talk about this head later on. Now, this figure over here is quite a good KO because it's quite difficult to tell the difference just by at a glance. But there are a few things that you can do to check to ensure that you got the authentic or you're paying for the KO. You wouldn't want to be paying more for the KO version, right? Now, my KO is kind of loose. The joints are loose. You can see how loose the waist swivel is. The other joints are quite okay. The ab crunch is also kind of loose. You can see over here, but it does stay in place, and there is a bit of click sound. Yeah, so that's about the joints. Next will be the spider logo. You can see here that the spider logo of my KO is actually very clean, and the edges are very painted quite well. Whereas for my authentic, if I were to bring it closer a bit, you can see that some parts over here that you can see over here kind of fuzzy a bit. It's not as sharp and clean, and it's actually quite a lot of instances of that for my authentic. But for my KO, it's actually all sharp and clean, and it's really awesome actually. The KO actually drew a better spider symbol than the authentic. There you can see that all the lines are very clean and sharp. And another difference for mine that there is this at the lower back over here. You can see it's really drawn, painted nicely, all the sharp edges, whereas for my authentic it's actually kind of, you can see there's no sharp edges unlike this KO version. So I'm not sure whether mine is just a paint defect or anything, but this definitely looks better, right? Now to the four main differences that I managed to spot after I scrutinized these two figures, because they really look similar, and I really had to look throughout the whole figure to find out and spot obvious differences. So if you were to buy one loose, you know whether it's an authentic or the KO version. Alright, so first off is the head. When you look closer at the head, you can see that the teeth over here has the gums, the red part that goes into the teeth. Whereas over here for the KO, it's just kind of yellow throughout. There's no red part of the gums that go into the teeth, right? And also that this authentic version, the teeth is actually kind of sharper, unlike the KO, which is kind of a bit more blunt. There you can see that these jagged edges are kind of a bit sharper, and over here is a bit more blunt. And same goes for the other side. There you can see that the red parts of the gums with the teeth. The other side is just all the teeth without any red parts. So that's difference number one, the head. Next up, the shoulders. The difference between the shoulders is that the arms that slot into this gap below the shoulders over here, you can see for the authentic it fits right in, and the gap is quite small. It's quite minimal, yeah. But for the KO, if I were to tilt it, you can see that the gap is actually quite big, and you can even kind of shift it front and back a bit. So you can see the gap is actually quite wide from the torso to the joint of the deltoids over here at the top of the arms. So you see the gap here is big for the KO, but for the authentic it's not big, it's narrow, and it fits just nice. KO, big gap. The fit is another obvious difference for you to check. For the authentic, the fit actually has made in China over here, and Marvel 2018 Hasbro SA. So there's printing on both feet, and the printing is very clear, as you can see over here, right? So Marvel 2018, and over here made in China. For the KO, however, the printing made in China don't have the other few words that is below the made in China, and the other feet is empty. I think there's supposed to be some sort of printing over here, but you can see it's kind of like too it wasn't printed properly, so that there's just like kind of some shapes of letters, but you can't make it out at all. And also over here, the made in China does not have the extra words, unlike the original. There, made in China, and what does it say over there? See, I can't make it out, it's too small, but basically there is some words over below the made in China, some letters and numbers, but for the KO, it's just made in China. C0012, I think, or is it C001D? Sorry, yeah. So that's what is below the made in China. Those are the letters and numbers below the word of made in China. Over here, just made in China only. So you can see this is an obvious difference. Okay, the printing at the bottom of the foot. And last but not least, to know that you got the authentic one, you actually have to peel off the back part of both figures. One thing to spot over here is this part. This is rectangular. You can see that this is rectangular, but for the authentic, but for the KO, it is circular. Yeah, I don't know why there is this difference, but yeah, there it is. So this is quite this is definitely one thing to spot also. But the problem is you need to take off the back cover, which is quite okay. It's quite simple, quite easy to take off. It's not that difficult. And I actually have the Monster Venom, and the Monster Venom actually has the same back as the authentic Monster Venom. Sorry, the Eddie Brock Venom has the same back there, rectangular, just like the authentic Monster Venom BAF. KO, circular. Let's take a look at the head with the long tongue. So I don't recall Venom actually having an extremely long tongue, but I just thought it looks quite interesting and kind of funny, so I just got it for fun. So you can see over here, it's really flexible. We can move it in any way, and it will stay in place. That you can do any sort of pattern that you want, and it really is flexible. You can put it in any position. So on the top part over here, you can see that it's kind of like a tongue, and there's a center line that goes down all the way to somewhere over here, and then it disappears off. But on the other side, it's actually kind of shiny rubber, so it doesn't look good on the other side. So yeah, there you have it, an extremely long tongue for Venom. So you can really like, you can really curl up the tongue all you want, and yeah. So there you have it, the differences between the KO and the authentic. So first off, the teeth. Second is the gap at the shoulder. Third is the printing at the bottom of the feet. And last one that I've managed to find is that inside this bag, when you take off this back piece over here, this has a circular part and this has a rectangular part, as shown earlier on. One last thing that I want to share is that they actually sell this head by itself, and this head can fit on the authentic Monster Venom BAF, but I really had to press it in very hard just now till my palm actually hurts to push it in. So maybe if you were to get this set, you might have to kind of drill the gap a bit wider so it pops in easier. Yeah, so it does fit the authentic Monster Venom BAF. Maybe you just need to modify it slightly. Thanks for watching, everyone. I really hope this video helps. The KO version actually is quite a decent figure. It has some loose joints and some minimal differences, but it's actually quite a very good KO. Yeah, do check out my comparison videos. Stay safe, everyone, and take care.